Hello and good morning, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's Xbox Factor podcast. And of course, it's the best Xbox morning show on YouTube. It gets my stamp of approval. I'm one of your hosts, MrBooMStickXL, and my awesome partner in crime, the Welsh gamer. Welcome back, Drew.
MrBooMStickXL, thank you for the intro. Fantastic week of news. We've got a lot to talk about. The Xbox Factor podcast, baby, it is hitting large. We're doing it live. We're doing it live, as K Mega would say. So, yeah, back to you, Boom, man.
Oh, well, listen, today's show is packed with all of the latest Xbox news you could possibly want. But before we go any further, I wanted to announce that for the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, my wife and I will be donating 50% of all Super Chat donated on both shows, which would brings to a total of 8 shows for the month of October. That goes for the Xbox Factor podcast, as well as Breakfast with Boom. And at the end of the month, to support this incredible charity, my wife and I are going to be writing a check and sending it. Now, again, before we go any further, I just want to, put some facts out there. This year, 2018, an estimated 266,000 women in the United States alone will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, and 63,960 women will be diagnosed with in situ breast cancer. And just so you guys, just for information for the men out there, an estimated 2,500 men in the United States can also and will be diagnosed with breast cancer. So listen, go for your yearly medical checkups, please. That goes for men and women of the gaming verse. It's very important that you see your doctor. If you can't afford it, there are places online that do support free physicals. And you know what? The best way to beat cancer is to get it before it gets bad. But you know what? I want to move on to, of course, what everyone came here to talk about, and that's video games. And the first topic is, and again, this is an Xbox-centric show. But when you talk about Xbox, sometimes you have to talk about Sony. It's just the way the business works. And Sony chairman Sean Layton announced via the PS Blogcast that PSX 2018 is not happening. And that left plenty of diehard PlayStation fans disappointed. But you see, that's not the entire story. 3 days prior to this terrible announcement, Microsoft held its monthly Xbox show Inside Xbox. And in a very surprising move, Xbox Executive Vice President Phil Spencer surprised everyone, including me, watching live when he was interviewed by Rukari Austin. And there were several points I kind of want to discuss in full detail with not only you, Drew, but with everyone that's in the chat. He said 3 things. And we're really going to go into them because I think that there is something behind this. He stated first party will be leading the charge. He then presents third party will be there in a big way. And then to finish it off, he says that in XO18, we announced the purchase of Rare Studios. Now, there is huge potential for Microsoft to finish 2018 very strong. And I want to talk about what they could potentially have in store for their fan base. Now, Drew, I have to go to you right away with this. Those 3 particular points, whether they're only about 20 words in total, really weigh heavy. And I want to get your opinion on what he said, but how he said it.
Well, this is the thing, Boom, and you set me up. You pitched me a flyer, and I'm hitting a home run now. You all right? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
But like these points, these 3 significant points which you just made, the quotes, if you will, from the interview itself, just paint a very vivid picture for me, because they are, for me, these 3 quotes, I've put in little asterisks. They're like bookmarks for me. Like they've literally bookmarked almost and painted what we're to expect. And I've already got this. When it comes to like Inside Xbox and Gamescom, I like to keep my expectations in check. But with these three things being mentioned, and like, you know, the fact that they're bringing back XO to begin with, I have to say this to you and the chat. Get excited, guys, as this is probably as close as you'll get to an extra E3 this year.
Yes, sir.
Well, first things first, I tell you what, when it comes to the first party leading the charge, what I want to see personally, I need to see the games that our big acquisitions from E3 are working on. Playground, I need to see Fable, if they're in fact doing Fable. And if it's not Fable, whatever it is, I want to see it, whether it be a trailer, I don't know, anything of that effect. I want to see what Ninja Theory are working on. I want to see what the Initiative, the quadruple A studio, is working on. And again, just to be realistic and keep our expectations in check, I don't mean a full-blown trailer or 20-minute gameplay, like, you know, walkthrough. I just want to see something, and that means anything in my books. A freaking poster with the developers coming and sitting down and talking through what they're doing, whatever. But then I want to see 343 and Coalition. I'd love to see some more Gears of War like gameplay, maybe a second trailer. I would love to see more footage for Halo Infinite. We saw that little glimpse with the Slipspace engine, but I would love to see some more, just to give us another taste to quench our thirst on what Halo Infinite has in store for us. Following that, I'd love to see Crackdown 3's multiplayer. I'd love to see a big section of the multiplayer, something we haven't seen already. We've already seen Terry Crews. Goddamn, lit it up! We've seen all of that. We've seen, you know, like single-player gameplay, like section trailers and like little, like, you know, roundups of CGI and like cinematics. But I want to see full-fledged multiplayer. I want to see what they're working on there. And in terms of third party, I'll leave that one to you, Boom, as I'm curious as to what you would love to say on that. But but if there is any, because obviously they did mention about Rare, so that's pretty significant. Why would they even bring that up if there wasn't going to be some more acquisitions? But I would love to see, to end the show, not to start the show, to end the show. You know, first party is leading the charge. That's what they said, so that's what I expect. But to end the show, I want to see, obviously, where they stand with the extra acquisitions. But this is going to be insane, Boo. I'm excited. Genuinely can't wait to see this. Can't wait to watch it live. It's going to be amazing. But those are pinpoint things that I need to see based on what those quotes mentioned.
You know what? I'm gonna give you what my points are. Some of them are that we know you already talked about, but I want to go into detail on what I'm going to talk about with that. But listen, here's the thing. You know, my past career was a police officer, and though I wasn't a detective, when someone says first party will be leading the charge and being a fan of the Xbox brand, I know that Forza Horizon 4 was the last game for Microsoft to launch in 2018, which that launched this Tuesday, and we're going to be going into that later on in the show. So my question is, well, what first-party games is he talking about? Now, here are some of the things I hope to see. First and foremost, I hope to see what Battletoads looks like, and hopefully get a playable demo of that. Because again, it's not going to be a $60 million game. It's Battletoads, but you know what? I'm a fan. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and they've been, you know, everyone has been clamoring for this since, you know, Phil Spencer came out on stage with the Battletoads T-shirt, right? He's very famous for that. So that's one. The second one I absolutely need to see because, you know, when you talk about fighting games, you think of Street Fighter, you think of Tekken, you think of DOA, right? Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat. When I think about fighting games, I think about Killer Instinct. And I think it's also about time that we get a proper Killer Instinct 2. This is something that I know for a fact they've been working on in the background. I don't have any confirmations, and I certainly don't have any, you know, inside phone calls to Phil himself, but I have heard that they are working on a proper Killer Instinct 2. I'm hoping that we could see something on that. Like you said, a confirmation that Playground Games is in fact working on the Fable reboot. I don't care if you just flash a logo. That's good enough for me. Here's another question, Drew. Could we
Yeah.
see what Ninja Theory is possibly working on? Because again, some of my insider sources, and I don't have a lot of them, tell me that the game that's closest to being unveiled and put out there for us to purchase is what Ninja Theory is currently working on. Now, we've also heard, and I say we because I don't know if you have, we could see the potential of 3 studio announcements at this particular event. So what 3 am I talking about? Well, the rumors that have been floating around the interwebs, if you will, in the last couple of weeks have been that Microsoft is setting themselves up to purchase Play Dead Games, which would be a big acquisition for them. The second one, and I think this is kind of like a no-brainer at this point, Studio MDHR. I mean, like, how do you not have that studio locked up? Cuphead was amazing. And, you know, the DLC may be dropping maybe this year. Maybe it'll be dropping early 2019. I don't know. But I think that locking that studio up is a big deal. And if you remember a couple of months ago, there was almost confirmation that a letter of intent to purchase was sent to Obsidian Games Studio. So, you know, that could be, again, if you're a fan of RPGs, this is the team you want, you know, you want to be rooting for Microsoft to purchase, because let's face it, they're fantastic. And you said it, and I think it's almost a guarantee that it has to be there. We need to see some Crackdown 3 multiplayer in action. You know, I mean, and I have a Crackdown story later on that we're going to be talking about. But what's your take on what I'm saying?
Oh, mate, it's riveting. It's doesn't your brain just go wild with this kind of information?
I'm very excited. I am.
It's just like literally like let's just take what we know. Like, we already know. Like obviously we can speculate on potentially more acquisitions, but the ones that we know about, Playground, Ninja Theory, Initiative, obviously you've got Compulsion. It is Compulsion, the guys behind We Happy Few, isn't it? Yeah. But obviously they're deep in they're deep with, you know, We Happy Few and stuff. So I don't expect anything new from them anytime soon. But Playground, Ninja Theory, and Initiative, those 3 studios, like they literally, if they don't show something at XO, I'll be very surprised. I'm not going to go as far as to say I'll be disappointed and they suck, they should all be fired or something. But I will genuinely be disappointed. And shout out to Saltiest Gaming, but I'll be rather salty because I think we need to see what these guys. Like, you know, you can't drop a bombshell of an announcement like that at E3, and then, however many months up the line, announce that you're bringing back XO, which was a long gone, you know, bloody show that hasn't been aired for a long time, and not give us a platform to show the fruits of your labor. We've already seen. I know I mentioned that I like to see Halo Infinite and Gears and more stuff on that, but we've already seen them, so they're bound to be showing us some new stuff. And I just can't think of anything better than to fill our brains with just great new stuff. Let's melt our eyeballs with whatever they're working on. Everything you said about Battletoads, Killer Instinct 2, I'm totally behind that. I mean, like you said, Phil Spencer had that top on 3 threes ago.
Yes.
So like, we're bound to see like something drop soon. And after the success of Cuphead, people are enjoying the retro game, the retro feel. Like that, like Xbox is, you know, undoubtedly playing the long game now, going to be the home of just about any genre of game you want. We can all agree that where they're lacking is probably the RPG front. But here you have it: Playground, Ninja Theory. You mentioned Obsidian, potentially new acquisition again. I'm loving what I'm hearing, Boom, and to say I'm excited would be a true understatement. I think literally at this point, me and you are like the ping pong ball, and we're just being bounced around from table end to table end. My mind goes wild with this information.
You know, there's a couple of factors here. You know, now, again, if you've been listening to me for a while, I do appreciate your support. If you're new to listening to me, welcome. But I want to reiterate the fact that I have been publicly very had a very big distaste for Microsoft's marketing. And you know what? I will cheer them when they do the right thing, but I will scoff at them when they do the wrong thing. And their marketing has been nothing short of horrendous. I wish they would hire me just for a month to see what I can do, because I guarantee you I would do better. But I want to add this to the to the nice mix that we're starting today's show with. This is a ginormous potential for Microsoft to finish 2018 in the strongest way possible. And here's what I mean by that. Forza Horizon 4 comes out this week officially. Review scores, it's sitting at a 92 on Metacritic. Everyone that plays it loves it. Everyone's posting videos. I'm posting videos and screenshots, and it's just amazing, right? So you take into what Sony has done is capitalized on the mistakes that Microsoft has made going back as far as 2013. Now, again, we're not going to go back all the way there. I'm just making the statement. This is a golden opportunity, literally the golden ticket for Microsoft to pick up the fumble. And what is the fumble? PSX being canceled. Okay, so that, every year for the last couple of years, Sony is entering the holiday season and everyone is talking about them, and for a lot of good reasons. They showed a lot of good things. Now, last year's PSX, not so good. This year, they canceled the show because guess what? They don't have a lot to show. But you got to remember this. Business 101. Keep your company at the end of everyone's tongue, and at the same time, steal the mind share away from everyone. So when you're having this big PSX event 3 weeks before Christmas here in the States, everyone is thinking about Sony. Well, guess what? This year, 2018, suspiciously enough, Microsoft announces that the return of XO for 2018 in Mexico City, which just so happens to be going on at the same time as FanFest, which is a big deal in Mexico, okay? They are going to have the mindset of the people, the gamers, and who else? The media. The media is going to be talking about what is happening at this show because Sony is not having theirs. Even though it's November, it's going to be the last big show of 2018. So it would behoove Microsoft to come out there and maybe don't give us an E3 part 2, but come out there and really flex for a bit. They have the stage. Get up there, turn around, show everyone your tight bun, turn around again, flex those muscles. Phil Spencer could show his pecs that he's been working on for the last 6 months, that they're rock solid with his new t-shirt that says Battletoads is available right effing now. I can see all this happening, and you can hear the excitement in my voice. But Drew, I want to hear your excited voice on what I'm saying.
Dude, everything you're saying sings true with me. Don't get me wrong, like this whole PSX, 18 not happening. I hope there's not too many Sony fans who are like disheartened and
frankly, they had a great year. Yeah, Sony fans had a fantastic 2018.
Yeah, exactly. Like you couldn't have said it better. They've had a great year. I think they could give this one a miss and it will not hurt them that, terribly. But speaking of Xbox and capitalizing, this is a great opportunity. And you said something a moment ago, Boom, that is absolutely correct. This XO should, it can't just be a E3 part 2. They need to stamp XO as its own entity.
I agree.
With an absolute explosion. I'm on about nuclear warhead. They need to literally. They can't just announce something like this and give us some last-minute botched-up show. Now, while I don't think for 1 second that'll happen, they need to literally make every second of that stage presence count. And I mean, hit after hit after hit. Like you said, Boom. If we're going to be grabbing the attention of the gamer, the media, all the parents out there with loose change looking to buy something for for their child at Christmas, because we've got to think of all the stops here. They're playing a crazy game of chess with this one. They literally cannot just turn up and give us like nothing to talk about, and they can't be giving the media any ammunition to be like, well, that was a blowout. Not, you know what I mean? They need to
I
literally
agree 100%.
like you said, Boom, flex. They need to be like Phil Heath at Mr. Olympia, blow up. They need to just literally have one thing after the other lined up and just throw it at us, the live viewers, the people there watching. They need to give us something to bow to by the end of the show leading up to 2019. And frankly, you said about Ninja Theory having a project that is you know, quote unquote, allegedly the closest to being revealed. How cool would that be, with everyone, you know, at the moment in their heads, Forza is the last first party title we'll see till next year. How cool would it be if they like announced like a December release or something for their new product?
Yes. Yeah.
Assuming that it's that far into its development. But hey, like, this just opens up the door, man. This is Xbox's chance to just go out on a high note for 2018. Even though Forza and you know, we've had a great year, I can't deny it, and Forza is an excellent game. That on its own two legs is enough to, like, you know, carry the torch. But this would be an even more significant blow to basically just, like you said, get Xbox in everyone's head for the Christmas month leading into 2019, where we have a few great titles to welcome us.
You know, I want to add two other things that just popped in my head, because, you know, when you do these shows, you obviously know, Drew, how much work I put in behind it. I start working on the next week's show, usually Sunday evening. I'm up to 1-2 o'clock in the morning trying to make sure that these shows are fun. Because, you know, first and foremost, I appreciate everyone that comes out. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers, and I have 77 people taking the time out of their day to come and listen to us. And you know what? That's a big deal for me. I started this channel, makes 1 year next month, and you know, it would not be here without you. So before I go any further, thank you to everyone in the chat and whoever is eventually going to listen to this show. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. But getting to this particular show, XO18, two titles popped into my mind that I did not write down initially that could see a December release, and this would be the perfect time to put it out there, because again, hearts and minds would be on the Xbox community. How about if Phil Spencer not only drops Megaton Bomb after Megaton Bomb, but then he comes out, he's wearing a shirt and it says Ashen is available now, or in December. What if he comes up, he walks away from the stage, comes back with another shirt 25 minutes later to finish the presentation, and he's wearing a shirt that says below, available now. These are two titles that have to be out. And you know what? If they're not going to come out in November, it would be pretty damn awesome to get them in December.
No, absolutely, Boom. Like, bottom line, this whole XO platform, I'd be quite surprised if they don't drop at least one title, like literally like available on Game Pass today. Like I'd be very surprised. I think you're onto something. Like I just keep asking the question, why have they brought back XO now? Like, why now? And then these quotes: the first party leading the charge, third party will be present in a big way. XO announced Rare as first party. Like, these three significant things we got to just take into account. Like, why now? Why have they brought it back now? It's got to mean something. It's got to.
Yeah, there's got to be something behind. Again, look, and I've said this, and I've had people actually tell me, no, Boom, you're wrong. And you know what? If that's your opinion, I hear you. But business, there's nothing coincidental about business. And if you think that Microsoft doesn't know what Sony's doing, and Sony doesn't know what Microsoft is doing, and they both don't know what Nintendo is doing, then you obviously are not in the right field. Because I'm telling you, inside baseball is a lot deeper than my plastic box is better than yours. Okay? So I don't think it's coincidence at all that 3 days prior to Sony announcing that PSX is canceled, Phil Spencer shows up on what people scoff at as being a crappy show. When was the last time he was on Inside Xbox? I think, maybe the first episode. So he doesn't come that often. So if he's there to make this announcement and tell the world that, hey, guess what? After all these years, XO is back in a big way, and we're going to be celebrating in Mexico City, and it's going to be live for everyone to enjoy. There's got to be some substance to to what this show is going to be.
Well, for sure, man. It just keeps posing the question, like the fact that it's here now. Why wasn't it here last year? Why didn't they wait an extra year? They must have a few things up their sleeve. And I, for one, am very excited to see what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Early this morning, new information dropped regarding Rocksteady. And this is interesting. According to a poster on the 4chan forums, he's reporting, and he was anonymous, P.S. by the way. So take this with a grain of salt, because, I've read some really good things on the 4chan forums, some of which have come true. Some of which, not so much. Rocksteady, according to this post, will be unveiling the new multiplayer Batman Arkham game on the XO18 stage. And this is what it's called. The title is called DC's Arkham Universe, and it's going to launch in fall 2019. And of course, it's going to be available for pretty much everything. Other than the Switch, according to this. It's single player, co-op, and multiplayer. And it's going to include the entire Bat family. Batman, Robin, which is Tim Drake, Nightwing, Batgirl, Batwoman, and Catwoman. And, of course, fan favorite, the Red Hood. According to this post, Gotham is about 1.5 sizes bigger than the Arkham districts, and the neighborhoods have gone through complete overhauls. Gotham is now a living, breathing city. It's also going to have set time of day and night cycles, as well as weather, which include rain, overcast, and snow. There are also going to be random crimes such as car chases, bank robberies, muggings, and so on. The main villain in this new game is supposed to be the Court of Owls. Now, if you've never read that particular part of Batman, the Court of Owls are no joke, and this would be fantastic. Every character is going to be available in free roam. Batman has a redesigned Batmobile that's only going to be used for transport only. Thank God, because we won't have to any more of those terrible, Batmobile levels from the last game that they did. The Batcave is going to serve as a main hub for all upgrades and character swaps, as well as new missions and game modes. Drew, first and foremost, XO18 could possibly be the biggest show since E3. But now we're hearing that we could possibly get a megaton announcement from Rocksteady Games for the new Batman Arkham game. If this comes true, how big is this from Microsoft?
I'll say this much, Boom. I'm certainly not writing it off. And just for the chat to hear, what was the second quote after the first party leading the charge?
Third party would be there in a big way. Talk about it. Let's do this.
Exactly. So Rocksteady, as everyone knows from the Arkham series, have brought us some great Batman games, some incredible storytelling, great mechanics, fighting, all this stuff. And as their last hurrah, as quoted by the article, not the article, the thing you read, Boom.
Yeah, the post on the 4chan forums. Yes.
Yeah, like what a way to end a saga without milking it too long. I think that this will be reciprocated very positively by a hell of a lot of people. I've only played the one Batman game, Arkham Asylum, the first one.
I'm going to be throwing some shade at you. I'm telling you right now. I'm doing it.
I'm sorry, Boom, but all I'm going to say is literally this DC's Arkham universe has got my attention. Do you? I have to ask the question. Do you think it'll? I'm assuming it'll have co-op. Imagine,
according to what the post is saying, not only is it going to have single player is going to be there in full force, but co-op and multiplayer.
Wow, that's incredible! Like that again, like I was only saying the other day on last week's show about like these open world games. They need to set a trend for like playing with your friends and co-op and multiplayer across the board. And this is just another great example. To be able to play as any of the Batman, characters like Batman, Robin,
Batwoman, Batgirl. Come on, I mean, it's crazy. Red Hood. Everybody wants to play as the Red Hood. The guy's is a psycho.
Oh man, I'd definitely be playing as like Deathstroke or something, if that was possible. But no, mate, there's some excellent. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. And I remember I wrote down one point in particular: living, breathing city.
Yes,
that gets my attention with when it like I mean whether it concerns a Bethesda title or Red Dead 2, anything open world. And the recent Forza Horizon, that like, God, can you get a more living, breathing like scene? That game is just mind melting. But let's talk about Batman, because I'll go off on a tangent. Living, breathing city, like I'm sorry, I mean, I'm not the biggest DC fan in the world. I'll come out and say it. I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Okay.
But I love Batman. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I enjoyed Justice League. I'm looking forward to Aquaman and Shazam and all that. I do like the DC universe. Don't get it twisted. But this game here, lover or hater of Batman, lover or hater of DC, this should be getting your attention because this looks incredible. Even if you haven't played an Arkham game, that's why I mentioned that, Boom. But just in case you were,
I just want you to know you were just fired by UK Dazarus for not playing the other Batman games. I'm just saying.
If the Welsh gamer has only played one Batman game, fire his ass. Oh man, no, I know, I'm terrible. But no, this is phenomenal news, Boom. And if they were to drop this at XO18, that'd be pretty effing huge. And frankly, says to me that this could potentially be marketed. Xbox might have.
Oh no, there's no doubt about it. I'm good. Great point, dude. Because I actually was going to bring that up. If by some chance this comes true and Rocksteady gets on, WB and Rocksteady get on stage, this is going to be marketed by Microsoft. And here's another little tidbit I want to kind of throw out there. Again, this is all speculation, folks. This is what we do on these shows. It's fun. Probably 8 out of 10 times I'm going to be wrong, but I am eventually going to get 2 right. I think that's fair to say, 20%. Could you imagine if they do this and all 3 Batman Rocksteady games go into Game Pass?
That would be amazing.
Okay,
Frankly,
they just got the 4K update.
I hope that happens, Boom, because then I can play them. Then
there you go. Open the door for Welsh to finally get on board. Yeah, listen. I don't know if this is going to come true. Again, you got to take these things with a grain of salt. But what the picture that Welsh and I have painted today is what I'm expecting. I'll go, and you know what? Again, I always have my glass half full. It's just the way I am. Could I be disappointed? Absolutely. But Welsh keeps bringing up the point, and I really want to kind of drive in on this. There's no reason for Phil Spencer to get up there and make this announcement that they're bringing XO18 back after all these years and not have something to show. That's all I'll end it with that. You have anything else you'd like to add before we move on to the next topic, which we've taken 33 minutes of the show just on XO?
Mate, that's how excited we are. That's how big of an announcement this is. I think people who like don't read into the industry as much as myself and yourself, Boom, wouldn't even care really. They'll just show up when it's on. But this is a huge deal. Like, this is a really huge deal. And like you said, I know you said what I said, and I'm going to repeat what you just said, what I said before, if that even makes sense. But this is going to be big, guys. XO, like you said, you drive it in. We're driving it in. We need to get this implemented. People need to hear it. People need to soak it in, absorb it. But XO would not be coming out now after all this time of it being, let's be honest, shelved. Probably, I don't think many people had their hopes of it coming back.
Yeah, I never thought it would, to be honest with you.
I mean, what 1 year you think, oh, maybe they're having a break. 2 year, oh, they're probably just shutting up shop. They'll come back. 3 year, 4 year. When however long goes by, you just gotta accept that something's not coming back. But in this case, they felt the need to bring it back, and I can't keep saying it enough. They obviously, and it's not a theory at this point. It's not even my opinion. It's obvious to me that they have some absolute bangers up their sleeve. And if this DC Arkham universe is there, that this is just one of them.
Yeah, well, you know what? Again, I know I have to move on, but every now and again, the show is going to be extended because there's a lot to talk about. And I have to just add this. I read once again on the 4chan forums. I wasn't going to bring it up because there wasn't much to it. This Batman stuff, there's a lot. I mean, there's still another page I could have went into detail. I just, obviously we only have so much time. The rumors of a Splinter Cell have been swirling for 2 years. I have gone on record quoting myself as saying, I guarantee it's going to be here for E3 2017. Wrong. Said it this year, E3 2018, Splinter Cell is going to be up on stage at the Microsoft stage, announced as an exclusive. Wrong. Okay, no problem. But I'm hearing, and I have heard, that not only is the possibility of Splinter Cell showing up on XO18 stage, because they have a fantastic relationship with with Ubisoft. But I'm also hearing that Microsoft possibly spent real world money to help finish this game off, and that it's going to be announced on stage as an exclusive for the Xbox One family. Let's talk about that for a second before we go any further.
That'd be phenomenal. I love the I love the Splinter Cell games. I loved Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow on the original Xbox.
Oh, it was fantastic.
That was probably one of my 3 first games I ever had for that system, and I loved it. I remember my late granddad and my nan bought me that for my birthday, and I was just like, thank you. And I literally played the hell out of that game. What a game. What a series. I mean, I've got I think it might be Double Agent or one of them on my backwards compatibility backlog.
Yes.
I do intend to play that with my friend Chief over in Texas, I believe he lives. We're going to do it the co-op.
That Chief Nagel?
No, this guy, Master Chief.
Yes.
Tag. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for years, but he made me download it and was like, me and you are playing. I was like, you don't need to make me do anything, dude. Splinter Cell's bloody sick. I was like, just point me in the direction. That's the thing. Like when it concerns Ubisoft and its games, I think a lot of their games have been very much oversaturated. I mean, like just look at Assassin's Creed. I mean, I think their more recent games like Odyssey and Origins are cut from a different cloth because they've tried to they've reinvigorated the series. But
yes, absolutely.
But when you look at Assassin's Creed, they've done so many games, almost as many as there are FIFA, and I just think like sometimes I think it'd be nice like to see a game like a series take a break, take a long absence, and come back in a big way. And I just think Splinter Cell being one of those series, like they made quite a few games and they've taken a very large absence. I'd love to see them come back, and if it was the case of money and Microsoft have extended a hand of gratitude and been like, yo, we want to see this game hit the shelf, but fancy making it exclusive, even if they only did it for a year, like a year's exclusivity, because I know people bitched and moaned about. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I know people bitched and moaned about Rise of the Tomb Raider, but bottom line, guys, you should be thanking Microsoft if you're a fan of that series, because you would not have had Rise, and in the wake of Rise's success, you would not have had Shadow, because basically because Microsoft gave that checkbook to finish Rise, and the success of that, the money, the revenue, that then in turn paid for the development of Shadow. So without Xbox putting the money forward, you would not have had either of those games. It would have stopped at the original reboot.
That is good points, dude. Great points.
It's just we've said it before, Boom. We'll say it again. It's basic business. So in this case, it'd be great if it was exclusive, but at the very least, if they're putting money down on it, I'd expect it to be at least, at the very least, year exclusivity. But I'd love to see this come back, Boom. I know there's a lot of people who do. My good friend Microbox of X, he is a massive, massive fan of this series, and I know there's plenty more like him. This is a series of game that needs to come back, and I think with today's hardware, 4K, the Xbox One X, I think it would be a fool's game not to.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything that you said. I'm looking at the chat, and you say Splinter Cell, and the chat just starts to catch fire. I had to go get the fire extinguisher from my phone. Okay, but it would be a big deal for Microsoft to not only get the game out, because everybody wants one. Lock up an exclusive that big. Now you're talking they spend some bucks. I hope that comes true. But you know what? Again, 40 minutes into the show, we're on one topic, but there was a lot to talk about. So if you enjoyed it, I'm glad. We are going to move on to the next topic. Sony finally caves into public and developer pressure regarding crossplay. Truthfully, everyone, I never thought it was going to happen, but hats off to them for getting on board and potentially changing the way gaming is going to be looked at in the future. This is definitely a pro-consumer move. Yeah, they're late to the party, but they got it done. But here's the thing. This now puts Microsoft with the spotlight right on them to remove the paywall that is currently keeping players who don't have Xbox Live Gold from playing the free-to-play games like Fortnite. Sony and Nintendo are already doing this, leaving Microsoft to look like the bad guy. And what's worse is that Microsoft brass, like Mike Ybarra, have been on Twitter calling for Sony's head regarding crossplay. Drew, let's talk about this. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I wouldn't be a fair host or media. I guess you can consider me media, I suppose, if I didn't call Microsoft out when they were wrong. I'd be a fanboy. I would be fake. So I'm calling on Microsoft right now. You got to remove that paywall. You made a big to-do about crossplay, and they were like, on Twitter every day. You saw it yourself, Drew. They need to say, okay, free-to-play games are free to play, especially considering that Sony and Nintendo are doing it. What's your take on this?
Right. This is a hard one. Can I just say first and foremost, and this is not to contradict how you feel about the situation or anyone else for that matter, but I personally can't actually believe that this is a conversation. Now, I don't mean...
No, please, by all means, speak away. This is an open podcast. This is what we do. We come on, we talk, and your opinion counts.
No, that's what I mean. As long as you know that I appreciate the topic, I'm not saying, boom, why the hell have you put this on my topic list? I just mean this is a good conversation, but in terms of the big picture, like the Twitter feeds, the forums, I can't believe people are digging this much of a hole. Bottom line, Sony has done crossplay. We've tipped the hats. We've already said this is a great move for Sony. But I almost feel like by default, just because Sony had the finger pointed at them for however long, it's almost everyone's due diligence to automatically, right, okay, we've had enough. We've pointed the finger at Sony long enough. Now let's start pointing at Microsoft. What can you give me? What can you give me? This is bull. Honestly, Boom, I'm calling it out for how I see it. This is bullshit. This is
to talk about it.
It's utter bullshit. Microsoft has been unfairly put into the spotlight now about something that's been going on since the beginning of time. We have been paying for Xbox Live since the beginning of time. And Microsoft, like you said, is being made to look like the bad guys, all because of a paywall, because of this free-to-play. Now, I know the argument is, if it's a free-to-play game, why am I paying to go online to play said free-to-play game? But people need to look at the bigger picture, Boom, because personally, selfishly, I would love Xbox Live Gold to be free. That's all. Who wouldn't want freebies?
Right.
And shout out to Salties again. If it is free, give me free. But let's just break this down. We had this debate last gen regarding the online services. It was always, why is the PlayStation 3 free and the Xbox 360 you have to pay? And there's a very simple reason for this. Xbox Live subscription is not. You are not just paying for an online service. Frankly, you're not paying for online services at all. You are paying for detail protection and firewall.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because that is, you know what, dude? Let me tell you this. I 1000% agree with you, but I want to let you finish your point, and then I'm gonna talk about it.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. But no, what you're paying for, that $60 a year or whatever it is, which is a very low fee anyway, it's not asking a great deal. That is for personal detail protection and firewall to prevent hackers and theft. And for me, people who are asking for Microsoft to take down that wall, of that money wall, are basically, people are basically asking Microsoft to allow us to potentially be hacked and have our details stolen. Like, let's just paint a picture here, Boom. If you went out tomorrow and spent 500 to $1,000, some people have spent anywhere between 2 and 3 grand on a PC rig. Are you not going to pay for the top tier antivirus software?
Of course you are. Yes.
Precisely.
Yes.
So when I hear, this is the same argument that we can make for people who are like, why do PC gamers get to play for free? It's because they're not housed by a network. Basically their Xbox Live subscription is their Norton antivirus, because that's all you're paying for. Look at last generation as a result, guys. Like, PlayStation 3 was free, and I remember the same song was being sung back then. I thought we were past it, but bottom line, Xbox had to come out back then and say the reason is you're paying for online protection, so less hackers, less information stolen, and the proof's in the pudding. Look at how many people in the last decade plus have had their information stolen over there at PlayStation. Until PlayStation,
yes, I was one of them. PS, by the way.
No, were you? And that makes E-Rock as well. E-Rock X, my friend, my co-host on the Dragon X podcast, he's still, to this day, Boom, and bear in mind he hasn't owned a PlayStation for years. He's still getting, he's still getting mail from Pakistan saying that he owns a house over there. and this is all because
terrifying. That is terrifying.
I know, and this is all because he put his credit card details onto his PlayStation 3, and the rest is history. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Sony still does that, but like I saw MBG's video earlier, and he was bitching and moaning about this, and I wanted to type in his comment section, but it'd probably get unseen because he's got 1,000,001 comments. But he was saying something about PlayStation caught wind of Xbox charging for Xbox Live and thought, oh, we could make money off this. No, hell to the effing no, you are wrong. PlayStation were having more problems than Microsoft ever did and thought, hey, if we charge, we might have a little bit of extra pocket to put up some protection walls for our consumer.
Yes.
That's honestly, Boom, I honestly can't believe this is conversation. And the media, the mainstream media, if they want to play around with this, I think they're fools. People are complaining about something that's been there since the beginning of time, since the original Xbox. And it's absolutely daft. It's absolutely stupid. This is a simple case of almost like guilt trip syndrome, I guess. Like, oh, well, we have been pointing out Sony for the last few months. Let's just give Microsoft a turn at being the bad guy. No, Sony had their finger pointed at them for good reason. They fixed the problem. Now no one's pointing the finger. So don't you effing dare start pointing the finger at Microsoft for something that they, frankly, they've done nothing wrong. And I'm like you, Boom, I'll be the first one to call out Microsoft if I think they do anything anti-consumer.
Yeah, that you certainly will. Yep.
But this is not it. This is not it. And I'm telling you, one last thing on my point on this tangent. Any of you who are going to be campaigning, signing petitions, I don't know where this will go.
It's not going to go anywhere, to be honest.
But it's a dangerous game, Boom. I'm just forewarning people. What you are asking for is very dangerous, because I'm telling you, if tomorrow Phil Spencer came forward and said, okay, we hear you, we're going to take down the paywall, we're not going to have the protection, we're not going to do this, do that, I tell you, I'm going to be going right back to physical copy games. I will not be putting any of my bank details on the Xbox for the foreseeable future, because that is what you're paying for.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
You're absolutely right. I got to give a shout out. Butcher Van says that he thinks free-to-play is the free-to-play paywall is a non-factor. And shout out to Fuzzy Belvedere in the chat. He says that if you want to make it free, remove party chat from the free-to-play. basically saying that if you want, if you want all the services, you have to pay. Now, again, I asked the question, but like I said before, I 1000% agree with you, because here's the thing. Not last week, 2 weeks ago, Nintendo launches their $20 a year service. What happens 24 hours later? They get hacked. Why? Well, because they're Nintendo. I'm sure that the infrastructure is cheap. I'm sure that there was hardly any forethought put into it. The fact that you have to use 8 phones and a satellite dish to talk to someone on the other end while you're playing Mario Kart is ridiculous. And the bottom line is, Sony, on the other hand, how often more than not is PSN going down? So they still don't have the most solid and proper infrastructure. So you're paying $60 a year. Now, again, gaming is expensive, and you have to be frugal. So Frugal Boom waits for Black Friday and gets Xbox Live Gold for $31. And I buy 2 of them. And every year I re-up for 2 years. So technically I'm paying $30 a year. The thing is this. I like I said, I would love to see them follow suit and remove the paywall. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, what are we losing if you do that? Because if they turn around and do exactly what Drew said and say, okay, well, we're removing all this protection because it's free to play, because again, it's technically not free to play. Microsoft is spending money to keep their servers running. So is Sony, and well, Nintendo is just Nintendo. But, again, who has the best online service out of the 3 companies? Xbox Live. Who's Xbox? I don't know. I've been paying for Xbox Live since 2002, I think, when it started. I have never had a credit card stolen from Xbox Live. What about you, Drew?
I've never had any issues.
Your identity is still yours, right? Mine too. I don't own a house in Pakistan. I did have a credit card opened up in my name on Sony's behalf when they stole all that information. So thanks, Sony, for that. So yes, I'm a victim of that. E-Rock X is a victim. So when you say free to play, yes, I would like to see them bring it down, because I want everyone on the same, on the same page, if you will. But if it means that I'm going to lose services, then I say, keep it going. Don't make it free to play, because if you want it, and maybe I'm being a little bullish here, but if you want to play Fortnite for free, go play on the PlayStation or the or the Nintendo. Because like I said, I think you're right. I think that we will lose something in the back end that we don't know is there, just to say we're getting this for free.
No, exactly. It'd just be tit for tat. If Microsoft dropped this paywall, and this is like, just to address some people in the chat who are calling me out saying that, how can you defend this? I'm not defending it. I've already said that I would personally love to not have to pay for Xbox Live Gold, but the fact that I'm paying for it, and what you're paying for, you are paying for like online protection, like as minimal hacking as possible. Your credit card details are safe, all this stuff. And frankly, with free-to-play games, at the end of the day, these games, they're only free to play because you don't have to physically buy them. So if they're going to be hosted on the Xbox Live network using the servers, which are protected by the paywall, then by God, am I for you continually protecting your system, protecting the interface, and paying for Xbox Live, because it's a better all-round outcome for everyone. The people who are now bitching and moaning because this is the new narrative either don't know what I just said was even a factor, or they're just looking to poke holes at something Microsoft has not even done. They've done nothing wrong, simply because of what Sony have had their fingers pointed at them for however long. It's all bullshit, Boom. I've called it out as I see it.
That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that people are even having a go at Microsoft for this, it's just reaching beyond belief.
Well, listen, I pull stories that I pull are, You have to scrape the bottom of the barrel. This was one of them. I don't think anybody is really talking about it anymore. I think Microsoft has put their stance is that, well, them not responding to this means that they're not going to do nothing about it. So again, if you don't want to pay for Xbox Live and you want to play Fortnite somewhere else, then, you know, go and do that.
Also, Boom, just one last thing I'd like to add. One last thing. Like, where do you end it as well? Like, where do you draw the line? Let's say Microsoft does, in fact, bend the knee and they're like, all right, okay, we hear you. We'll make Xbox Live free. Next, people be bitching. Why is Xbox Game Pass like £7 a month? Okay, we'll make Xbox Game Pass free. Why the hell is Games with Gold like this? Okay, we'll make sure there's 4 quadruple A games every month. No problem. Why the hell am I paying $500 for an Xbox One X anyway? Okay, we'll just hand them out like cakes. We'll just give them away. That's fine, no problem. Like, where do you fucking draw the line? Like,
I agree.
You're paying for a service, a very good service at that, the best service out there. It's protected behind a, like, you know, a firewall, your data protection, all that. And then in terms of the network and the infrastructure and the constant updates and the community, you know, it's hands down the best service, and I think it's well priced. If they were asking any more, then I'd be
like they were going to raise it to 75 a year or something.
Yeah, then I'd understand people's concerns. But I just think people are, you know, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So why do people have a problem now all of a sudden?
Yeah, listen, again, we're not going to spend too long on this because it is what it is. We have our opinions. I'd like to see it free, but then with what you're saying does make sense. What do we lose? Because free is not always technically free. And for some of the Sony fans that I see in the chat, if that is your brand and you want to play Fortnite, then I say go there and play Fortnite and just have a good time and just don't pay for Xbox Live. I don't know what to tell you. But you know, that's the end of that. I want to move on to the next topic. You know, Crackdown 3 comes up again in the news. Phil Spencer was responding to a tweet from Collapse Control on Twitter, and he wanted to know what the progress of Crackdown 3 was. Like, I think we all do. It's one of my most anticipated games of 2019. I'm a huge Crackdown fan. I love the first 2. A lot of people didn't like 2. I happen to really enjoy it. I like getting a super agent and being able to kick around cars like they're, you know, Matchbox, you know, toys. But this is what Phil Spencer had to say. I was playing the full build yesterday. Nice work by the team. More work to do, but good progress. My agent felt like a wrecking machine. I enjoy. Okay, so listen, there's, you know, whether you know it or not, Crackdown 3 was at one point in development at 3 different studios. That's one of the biggest mistakes, I think. Regent Games, Sumo Digital, and CloudGen. However, for various reasons, now only Sumo Digital is working on the game. I have to say, I agree with that, because too many chefs in the kitchen, what do they say? Well, Welsh, ruins the soup. So
ruins the soup, baby.
Yeah, every time. Now, CloudGen was founded by Crackdown, the original Crackdown creator, David Jones, who was also working on Crackdown 3 until Fortnite, the studio, which is Epic Games, acquired CloudGen. Jones now works for Epic as a director of esports and cloud technology. CloudGen was created to help, obviously, Crackdown 3's much hyped up destruction system, and unfortunately, that's not the case. When asked directly by Polygon if Crackdown 3 will use CloudGen's tech or Microsoft's cloud systems for Crackdown 3, Matt Booty avoided the question. And this is what he had to say. You know, I'm not going to get into the actual technical breakdown, he said. Let's just say we've got access to a great infrastructure, and the game has got some great tech in it. We're going to put those together in a way that makes the most sense. Now, here's my question to you. Welsh, and of course the chat, because the chat has been very, very talkative today, and I definitely appreciate that. Should we be concerned with this latest news, or is this just Phil Spencer answering the question of a fan and confirming that the game is still coming? Drew, what do you think about this?
I think honestly, Phil in this instance is just answering the question presented to him with the utmost honesty. I don't think it's cause for concern. This is why it was delayed. I mean, there's obviously argument that could be made that it was delayed due to the fact that if it came out this time, at this side of Christmas, it'd get crucified by the likes of Red Dead. But let's be real, like, it obviously had its problems behind closed doors. We all know that. We're not fools,
right?
And frankly, I think I commend them for the honesty, bringing out to the forefront all the issues they've had, painting you a picture, just to give insight on why it's been delayed so many times. I mean, to have so many positions being taken away and certain developers walking from the project for whatever reason. And then obviously the cloudage and the 100% constructive environment fell through. And there's a lot of things, a lot of factors to play here. But bottom line, let's just be real. If the game didn't need work, then it wouldn't be delayed. So the fact that Phil's just come forward and said, yeah, it's been delayed. It still needs work. Hold your horses, basically. I'm not concerned at all. I mean, it's just stating the obvious, is it? I don't know. What do you reckon, Boom?
Well, I have to agree. I just want to throw this out there. I don't know what's going on in the chat. There's been people are starting to kind of bicker a bit. Look, here's the thing. If you don't agree with someone's opinion, just let it go. No, name calling and making the chat an unfriendly place is something that I really do not like. I do respect everyone's opinion. If again, you can call me a fraud. I hear you. I won't even argue the fact. My work speaks for itself. Drew's work speaks for itself. We come out here every week to give you a great show. I think that's what we've done so far today. Let's everyone just be nice with with one another. Treat everyone. This is a very simple, saying. Treat someone how you want to be treated. Right. That's as simple logic as I can get. If you want to be treated like shit, then you obviously are going to be treating people like shit. But don't do that. Try and be cool with one another. Even if you don't agree with their opinion, it's okay. That's the great thing about these talk shows. Everyone has an opinion. So getting back to what you're saying, Drew, I think this is I think this is common sense. I agree with you. Phil didn't disclose anything that was like groundbreaking in this. At least he answered the fan. I think that in itself needs to be applauded. That he answered a fan that might be looking forward to the game. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to assume the guy's a troll just looking to shit on Crackdown 3. I think a lot of fans are excited for this game, more so of not just Crackdown fans, but people who are fans of the Xbox Game Pass service, where this is going to end up February 22nd, 2019. So they're not strong arming you to buy it, but you never know. There have been people that I've seen on Twitter, PlayStation fans on Twitter saying, "I have Xbox Game Pass, I got it free. Great. I'm playing Forza Horizon 4, and I can't believe this game is in there." End quote. So, you know what? It could make a fan out of you. So, again, not groundbreaking, but it's good to know that the game is definitely coming out. I'm very happy about that. There's not really much more you can say. Do you want to add anything else to this, Drew?
All I can add to this, Boom, is this is just another one of those things. Like we just come off the back of a topic where we were talking about Microsoft getting the finger pointed for like stupid things, but they don't get the finger pointed at them and a clap and a tap on the back for even just answering, just for answering a gamer on Twitter. It's just like they're constantly communicating with the gamers and giving us information, great information, just in time for shows like this, and they don't get enough credit for it. Like, he didn't even have to answer this guy, but he did. It was very, very swift, to the point, common sense answer, and it just gives you that little nod, like, no, like Wicked, like at least I know Crackdown is coming, like you just said. So no, yeah, that's all I can say. I think it's brilliant.
Well, that's great. And if you notice, we're past the 1 hour, 60-minute mark. And surprise, folks, it's going to be a 90-minute show because there's just too much shit to talk about.
Whoop, whoop.
Forza Horizon 4 impressions. Okay, now, Drew, I saw you tweet that you were downloading it. I happen to be fortunate enough, thanks to the generosity of several people in this amazing community, I had the money to buy the $100 edition. So I've been playing, right, for 4 days prior to everyone else. I started playing Friday. I'm going to say that I've put about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 hours into it. I'm going to tell everyone this right now, something I'm very proud of. I have officially unlocked the achievement the other day for driving on every road in the game. Yes, that's right. I went crazy. And not only did I get the achievement for that, I am a few signs away from crashing into every sign in the entire game. It's something that I do when I'm playing it. I'm a collectathon whore master, and I love stuff like this. But I'm going to tell you, Playground Games has outdone themselves in a way that it just doesn't seem like it's possible. You know, you play Forza Horizon 3 and the game's amazing. And then they come out with Blizzard Mountain, and then they shock the world with the Hot Wheels DLC. And you're like, it can't get any better than this. It literally cannot get any better than this. And sure as shit, they release Forza Horizon 4 to megaton reviews. Everyone's playing it. Everyone is loving it. I'm loving it. You're loving it. First of all, Drew, I have to know, what do you like, love, or hate about Playground Games' latest Xbox One exclusive? I had to throw hate in there because, you know, listen, everybody, someone might hate the game. And if that's your opinion, I hear you. Okay. How much have you played? Does this beat your personal expectations for the game? And does this surpass Forza Horizon 3 in every way possible? Let's talk about this.
Well, I just want to start by saying, shout out to Tryhard fan in the comment section. He wrote, I kind of wish I was a racing game fan. Sad face. Now, Tryhard, I picked on you specifically because
First of all, let's say this before you go. Tryhard is an amazing community member. The guy is in everyone's chat. And, you know, he was originally, people used to poke fun that he's a Sony guy. He's a gamer. So continue.
No, well, I got nothing but love for that dude. I've seen him in the comment sections of my videos and live chat on the Dragon X as well. He's a lovely dude. And yes, the only reason I point him out is because what he said related to me massively. Because I was where you are sitting right now 3 days ago. I was not a racing fan. I went into this without any real expectation. Just to answer the third question first and foremost, I wasn't sure what to think. I just literally, I played about half an hour of Forza Horizon 3 the other night and was like to get the Forza cogs turning, and I was like, do you know what? This is cool. That's cool. I'm going to go into Forza Horizon 4 with a big grin on my face, and well, I'm 13 hours and 34 minutes into it.
Nice.
I'm really enjoying it. I've got some beautiful cars. What an amazing game. Honestly, I just keep having to point you out, Tryhard. I was where you are, mate. You don't have to be a racing fan to enjoy this game. I have not played a racing game since Project Gotham Racing 2, which is long, long time ago. And this is phenomenal. It's truly grabbed my attention. It's a fantastic game. What do I love / hate? Well, I love the scenery. Not because it's set in Britain, but because it just looks beautiful. The fields, the warthog across all the mud, that mud, baby. It looks fantastic. The cars play beautifully. You feel like you're truly driving a car. I'm actually... And this is testament to this game and what I just said about not actually being that big of a racing fan. I'm actually considering buying a steering wheel and pedals because I'm enjoying it that much.
Yeah.
I want to try and learn how to play the game in first person mode. Very, very enjoyable game. I love that. I can't actually say one thing I love. just the fact that I love the fact that this game is converting me into almost a racing fan all of a sudden.
Nice.
In the space of 2 days, I'm a fan. So I love that about this game. What do I hate? I hate the fact that I'm trash at driving. I'm getting there, Boom. I'm getting better with each passing hour, but that's what if I had to pick something I hate, because it'd be a struggle at this point, it's just my ability. So with time, I imagine I'll love my ability too. Does it beat my personal expectations? By a landslide. Like I just said, I didn't really go into it with much expectation at all. I got it for free with Xbox Game Pass, downloaded it, thought, hell, I gotta bloody play this game. Christ, like, it's Forza Horizon 4. And my expectations are through the roof now. I expect it to get better. I expect, like we talked about on the Dragon X last week, I expect it to have, events after events, DLC after DLC. I expect this to get bigger and bigger and more successful. And frankly, back to back off Forza Horizon 3 success, I expect it to do the same numbers, or if not exceed them. So my expectations have it hasn't exactly exceeded my expectations because I didn't have any. But after playing 13 hours of it, my expectations of the game concurrently have grown. I can see this being massive. Does it surpass Forza Horizon 3 in every way? Truth be told, I've played more for Forza Horizon 4 in the last 2 days than I've ever played Forza Horizon 3. So
okay,
yes.
fair.
So all I can say is yes, because my opinion of Forza Horizon 3 is limited, but I can say quite honestly that this is a very beautiful game, stunning, and I think everyone should pick it up. It is incredible. Yeah, I hope I summed up those 4 questions for you, Boom. But overall, mate, I mean, I got to give it a solid, like, if I had to rate it, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. It's a phenomenal game, which I think can convert even the biggest racing hater into a racing fan.
Yeah, I agree. It has a very RPG-ish kind of a feel to it when you're, because now you're getting, first of all, if you don't know, the old Forza, like Forza Horizon 3, you would be doing a general upgrade with your points. And that would work across all cars. What they've done now, and because the points literally come like they're just turning on the tap, you do that for each individual car. And I don't mind it, to be honest with you, because I have a certain set of cars. I have about 3 or 4 of them that I drive, and that's actually all I drive. I mean, I have unlocked a ton, and I've tried other cars, but I just don't like the feel of them. So you can really customize the one particular car by using all of your upgrade points on that one car. That goes for paint jobs, rims, tires, brakes, engine parts. It's limitless. If you're a gearhead and you like messing around with all of the differentials when it comes to driving, this is right up your alley. I mean, you made mention of him earlier, and I'm going to talk about him right now. MrBooMStick of X. That guy's a huge Forza fan. As a matter of fact, he tweeted what his setup looks like with the wheel and the pedals, and I got to tell you, I'm jealous. It looks amazing. So if you're not sure who we're talking about, MrBooMStick of X, give that dude a follow on Twitter, and sub his YouTube channel, because he's the real deal, real Forza fan. I have to give a shout out to Spoonman for the $2 super chat. That is greatly appreciated, my friend. And why I'm laughing is that he says all bow down to the collectathon whoremaster, which is obviously BoomStick. Thank you for that, dude. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. But I got to ask you, have you played the Halo level yet?
No, have you?
Yes, I certainly have. Yes, I certainly have, and it's pretty amazing, because as it starts, you get to see Master Chief in top to bottom. You're not just seeing him, and they show the Warthog, and then they show the plane right next to it, and the mission starts, and you're Master Chief. You hear Cortana. She's saying that the planet's going to explode. You got a few minutes to get off, and that the race is on. And you know what? There's a lot of throwbacks to Halo in there. If you look up, you can see the Halo ring. There's plenty of Covenant, things flying around. It's like playing. It's like they dressed up the beach as a Halo level. Hats off to Playground Games for including 343, and hats off to 343 for wanting to put Halo in this game. It's one of the showcase events. There's a total number of 5. That is one of them. The race isn't long. I have driven it now 3 times because I really want to, sometimes stop and smell the roses and not care about a time or if I'm going to explode. But it is fantastic. I highly recommend doing this, especially if you're a Halo fan. The one thing I will say about this is the game, when you turn on the map, if you've been playing for a while, things start to unlock, and it could be pretty daunting. There is a ton of stuff to do. Besides showcase races, they have this one particular event that's new to the series where you're doing stunt driving work. You can own a taxi and make money on the back end of that. They actually have an event that just opened for me where you're playing old video games as races. I have yet to do it because, like I said, I was trying to find every road, and trust me, it was hard. I spent hours upon hours trying to unlock that achievement, and now trying to get all the signs. It's time consuming, but it's fun. I'm having an absolute blast with it. So far, you've put 13 hours in. That's saying something for someone who wasn't looking forward to the game because you're not a racing fan. What has been the most fun for you?
For me, so far, and I know this sounds cliche and maybe quite stupid, and people are probably going to think, really? You've got this racing game, and that was your most favorite thing? But honestly, Boom, taking screenshots in photo mode.
Dude, that's awesome. It's a fantastic mode. Talk about it.
It just looks phenomenal. And really, especially if you're an Xbox One X owner, it just with every click when you take that picture, it just justifies your purchase. You're just like, oh, damn, give me more. God damn, give me more. It's beautiful. That's been one of my favorite things. Just parking up on like a hilltop where the sun is like going down. You've got a few like country houses in the background. I got my purple and yellow Lamborghini Hurricane on the bloody corner, and I get this lovely shot on the angle, the sun going down. Click. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, there's something truly satisfying about it, and I really do enjoy that. I'm quite an artistic guy. Like behind closed doors, behind the gaming scene, I do love to draw, paint, and do a bit of photography. So with that said, you can understand why it's so appealing, because I'm never very rare am I ever probably in my whole life going to be able to stand a foot away from a Lamborghini Hurricane or Hurricane or however you pronounce it. So the fact that I can just drive one around and take pictures on my Xbox One X in full 4K, HDR10 and all the trimmings, it's something you need to try to understand how cool it is. So yeah, I even though the game as a whole, the racing, the cross country rallies and stuff like that, and I'm yet to play this Halo mode, it sounds fantastic. But my favorite thing at the moment to do is just going around taking pictures of the scenery with my like, $1 million cars. It's beautiful.
Yeah, let's also not forget, and I can't believe I actually forgot this, you can buy homes. I have about 3 of them, maybe 4 already. I know that there is a castle that I want to buy. I just don't have the 10 million yet. I'm working on it. I mean, listen, there is just literally so much to do, so much to love. If you haven't purchased the game and you're on a budget, Drew is the perfect example. Drew, where are you playing this, and how are you playing this?
I am playing this through my £7 a month subscription of Xbox Game Pass. So I've gotten a $60 game for nothing, basically.
Yes, and you know what? I want to point that out again. If you're on the fence about this racing game, maybe you're not the biggest racer. plunk down. You don't even got to put the £7 or the $10 US. Go to eBay and buy a $2 30-day trial. $2. $2 is all you need to spend. And I've purchased from eBay, and guess what? No problems. The code worked, and I played the game. I tried out Game Pass, and now I'm a fan. Right? Go to eBay. No, they're not a sponsor, PS, by the way. But and what do you call it? Give them their give someone your $2 and try Forza Horizon 4. I guarantee you're going to be surprised. But you know what? I have to talk about a story that was posted, and this was pulled from WCCF Tech about the Forza Horizon 4 patch that addressed a few issues on the Xbox One, such as stutters, and offers general stability and performance improvements. This is what the patch notes had to say, if you're interested. In the update release notes, developer Playground Games mentions that the patch fixes the stutters on the Microsoft Xbox One X version while free roaming, while also fixing stalls and large FPS drops for PC players during initial drive. Other improvements include environment streaming improvements and some other minimum specs for PC. So if you're wondering if a patch has been put out there, this literally is a day old. So yes, I got the update, and you should have it too. I want to move on to, this is a really cool story, and this is actually you'll appreciate this, Drew, because it's from your side of the pond. Xbox Gamer asks Xbox UK for a birthday present on Twitter, and they deliver. An Xbox One owner who shared a birthday request with Xbox UK had their wish granted and got a free copy of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And here's the story. Twitter user Good Naito tweeted at the Xbox UK Twitter account on Friday and told them that it was his birthday while making a joke about Shadow of the Tomb Raider advertisements that have been showing up on the Xbox dashboard. Not even 10 minutes after tweeting the message below, the Xbox UK account responded with its own tweet telling him to check his messages. And guess what, folks? They responded with a copy of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Drew, how cool is that, man?
Mate, that's awesome. I mean, like, whether it was Sony that did it, Nintendo, or Xbox, it don't really matter at this point. This is just a gesture of goodwill. It's a good idea. It's a good bit of fun. And I think, like, what better way, like, Christ, if I've learned anything from this, I'm definitely going to be doing the exact same thing when it's my birthday. I'm just going to tag Xbox UK, Xbox US, Xbox Canada, Xbox bloody Belgium, Xbox out, and be like, what up? I turned 26 today. What's happening? My DM is open. I'm just gonna be like, what's going on? No, fantastic. I think it's great. I think it's great. What more can you say? Like, that's not only, like, it kind of shut him up a little bit. That's one way of promoting Tomb Raider. But
yep, absolutely.
On the other hand, it gave the guy a birthday gift. I think it's funny.
Yeah, this is definitely what I call the coolest birthday gift a fan of the brand could actually ask for. Jokingly, he threw it out there, and unsurprisingly, they responded with a free copy. Great on them. Great on WCCF Tech for picking up this story, because you don't hear a lot of the so-called inside baseball that goes on with the generosity of not just Xbox. Sony's, I've seen them do some cool things. Nintendo, not so much. But you know what? For the most part, it's the big boys that do occasionally step up to the plate and respond to fans. So this is fantastic. But I'm going to tell you what was even more fantastic. This show was unbelievable, and we're closing in on 90 minutes. And this has been rock'em sock'em information from start to finish. I hope that everyone that's in the chat, and we've had almost 100 people watching. And like I said earlier, wow, man. I mean, thank you so much for that, because that means that whatever we're saying, you guys are digging, and I super appreciate that. The chat has been fantastic once again. Except for a slight little hiccup, you guys play nice with one another. That does really mean a lot to me, because when you think of my shows, when you think of the Xbox Factor podcast and Breakfast with Boom, I want you to think that is a safe place to go and chat with other gamers who just want to have fun. That's what my goal is as a host and a showrunner of this channel. So good on you for that. Listen, Drew, I don't know what else to say. This show has been fantastic. I actually had a real blast. I think you can hear it in my voice how excited I was to talk about the topics. Once again, I cannot do this show without you. I tell you that all the time, and I'm going to say it again. You are an awesome co-host. I would not want to do an Xbox show with anyone else but you. But tell everyone where they can come and follow you. And more importantly, sub your channel on YouTube, because you do have the Dragon X podcast, and you do usually daily videos that are fantastic. Take it away, brother.
No, Boom, honestly, man, like this whole thing, this whole experience, Xbox Factor. God, I don't. What episode are we on now? Like 7 or 8 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yes, I completely lost count.
I know. It's just been so much fun. Every week has just flown. It's been an incredible ride thus far. And again, I'd like to reiterate what you said to the chat. Everyone in the chat, your opinion is just as important as ours. Everything me and Boom say, isn't gospel. It isn't, unless we're reading from a source, it isn't absolute fact. Most of the time, it's just our opinions and our speculation. So please, guys, spread the love. It's all a bit of fun. We're all gamers. We all love to talk about this stuff. And otherwise, everything, you guys in the chat rock. That super chat earlier, thank you very much. 50% of all super chats will be going to this the charity organizations for breast cancer. So big ups to you guys in the chat. Awesome. Once again, Boom, incredible. I am the Welsh Gamer. You can find me on The Welsh Gamer, the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Send me some constructive criticism. Keep the love coming. New videos coming very soon. Actually, Boom, as we didn't get a chance to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, and I've got all these notes ready, I'm probably going to do an impressions video on the new trailer. So,
oh, yes, dude, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, it's just...
Dude, don't be apologetic. Christ, we filled the show. We talked our heads off. I think if we talk anymore, we're going to bleed from the... People are going to start bleeding from the ears. No, it's been incredible. What a show. We've beginning to end. Lots of fun. Find me on Twitter at the Welsh Gamer 93. Find me on YouTube, the Welsh Gamer. Much love for everyone in the chat. You're all absolutely fantastic. Big name, big love. Take it over, Boom. Cheers, brother.
Well, again, thank you to the chat. Thank you to Drew. I appreciate the super chat. I will be taking notes. And like I said, like you said, I want to just reiterate the fact, the entire month of October, every show that I'm going to do, which is a total of 8, there's 4 of these shows, the Xbox Factor podcast, and there will be 4 other live shows, Breakfast with Boom, which is on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be donating 50% of all proceeds for the month of October, and I'm going to donate that to a breast cancer awareness charity. I don't know which one yet. I'm actually waiting on the missus to pick one, because I'm going to be doing it in her honor. A lot of people don't know this. My wife lost her mom late last year, and it was tough on everybody. So that is why I am getting in front of this, and I want to donate. And I want this to be a big deal. So if you can donate, even if it's $1, even if it's $2, even if it's $5, whatever you donate, 50% of that will be going to this charity. And my wife and I will make an announcement on Twitter of the amount and what charity we have picked. So, or any help that comes our way, you're not just helping, the channel, you will be helping someone that you may never meet. And I'm going to end the show with that. Have a fantastic day, everyone. It was great doing this show. I cannot wait to see everyone tomorrow morning on the next episode of Breakfast with Boom. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Take it easy.